Hi, so recently, some of you may remember that I stood in a by-election. Before I get into this, I do not wish any hate upon any individual, so I won't be mentioning names or platforms where that comment has come from. I'm not condoning hate comments. I think what people don't realise that by commenting on things that you don't like, you're actually helping that person that you apparently don't like gain views because the algorithm thinks it's popular. So anyway, thank you to all the people who commented regardless of your opinion. So I've got some on my phone that I'm going to be reacting to. We cannot allow a plus size into power. I mean, if that's your view. I mean, I don't see what somebody's size has to do with how they can run the country, but whatever, man. So this person put, lol, coming from a Labour supporter, do you need a cuddle? I stood as a Liberal Democrat. I don't know, I mean, I've been a member of the Labour Party in the past, but certainly not now. I mean, maybe you just don't research. Did Michael J. Fox film this for you? Now, that was in relation to a very wobbly video. I get it, the video was wobbly, but does that matter? Is substance, surely substance is more important than looks, right? I thought this was a parody with a sick emoji. I'm glad I gave parody vibes. Kingpin. I'm non-binary, so the word king kind of doesn't suit. Neither does queen. So what would be appropriate for a king and queen mix? King Wing. Are you going to pay off my student loan debt? Now, I think this come from a supporter of the Labour Party possibly, or just somebody who wants to try and remember the coalition. Now the interesting thing, sorry my cat, now the interesting thing is that if this comes from a Labour Party supporter, your party was the party to introduce tuition fees in the first place. So maybe do your research a little bit. Yeah. Muppet. Original. It worries me more that if you can't hold a camera steady and you think this is suitable promo, simple things, what chance have you actually got of doing something more challenging, such as representing the people of Gillingham effectively? Yeah. Bullocks. If this is a candidate, then we're truly if that's what you believe. I mean, democracy is democracy. Why was he told not to look presentable, iron his clothes, put his tie on properly? First of all, you're using the wrong pronouns, but I understand that people sometimes get pronouns wrong. I'm not going to be like all arsey over it. Was I told to look presentable? I did try and look presentable. As you can probably tell, I'm not the kind of presentable type of person. Me looking presentable actually makes me quite uncomfortable. I know that sounds quite weird, but I'm more comfortable when I'm dressed up in band t-shirts and stuff like that. Obviously, wearing a shirt and tie most times I went to Gillingham, I was actually very uncomfortable with that. But I know that that's kind of the look you kind of have to try and pull off. I mean, from this comment, maybe presentable just doesn't suit me. Bro filmed this on an iPhone 4 placed on a jackhammer. Actually, that was quite funny. Like, it kind of did look like that. Obviously, it's actually filmed on a proper camera, but yeah, I mean, that actually kudos kudos, that's, I like that. Oh my god, this person. So, what is your policy on freedom of speech? Now, I'm not going to go into detail of this conversation, but I'm going to talk about what that person actually was. That person ended up being a transphobe, and I have no time, really, for transphobes, or people who think they're protecting women's rights, when in actual fact, they're just helping the patriarchy. J.K. Rowling. Oh, and then there was one person who kept on commenting like on things like the so I supposedly wrote, it seems like the Lib Dems doing this, so I supposedly wrote a comment on Ken Online. I actually didn't write a comment on Ken Online, it was just someone trolling, and unfortunately shit happens. I responded to it, I spoke to Ken Online, they took the comment down, but it was just Labour supporters that were doing it, like nobody else really cared. But anyway, God loves a trier, but Lib Dems, it's like pissing in the wind. Poetic, very poetic. I mean, at least you admit that the Lib Dems try. There are certain parties out there that really haven't tried. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about something quite serious within this. Obviously, I quite like a laugh, so a lot of the hate comments that people were saying were kind of giving me a laugh. But there's quite a serious point. Hate comments. The internet has become a very, very hateful place. I think we need more unity in this world, and unfortunately we're having political parties just create division, and that's not okay in any way. I don't know where that come from, why that's happened, but here we go. What got to me, I think, a little bit more than anything else was having people who you actually know some of the time commenting or writing hate statuses about you when they've asked you a question, so you've answered the question, and you've answered it actually within party policy, so you haven't actually said anything that's actually controversial. But then you have people fueling hate, and we've become, and you typically find it's the reform voting type that kind of do this. Like, if you typically people who will say stop the boats, you know, because less than 1% of the population will cause an economic crisis. Oh no, Brexit did that already. It's really not, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand where some of these people come from. I actually banned key phrases on some of my social medias. I could ban it, so if somebody puts vote reform, their comment won't even get onto the list, because I can't be bothered, quite frankly, to be checking everybody's comment, and I can't be bothered to be reading the same stuff from the same kind of individuals who are really just never going to vote for me anyway. I can't be bothered. Like, so you can waste your time all you like, but your comment ain't going to be seen. You're just wasting your time. And that leads me on to a very, so the serious point is, there's division in the world that we're living in right now. There are so many myths around immigration. What can you do to challenge that though? Because every time you try and challenge a reform voter, they were, oh, you're a bunch of lefties. You won't mind Irish Kenya. Mate, put on your tinfoil hat. Jesus Christ, stay out. Like, honestly, Stay at home. Do you know what I mean? If you think the woke mind virus is gonna get you, there is no hope for you. Honestly, the woke mind virus is literally just empathy. It's just people with a lot of empathy, and that's what I've come to realise. Like, you know, even I've been in the past like really concerned about like freedom of speech, but you know, actually, if something offends somebody, you probably shouldn't be saying it. I get people make mistakes, and that is absolutely okay. So if somebody makes a mistake by mistakenly using the wrong pronoun, I've done that to friends in the past, like accidentally. People have done that to me accidentally. That is absolutely fine, but it's when you refuse to use those pronouns, like point blank refuse to use those pronouns. When you bring up somebody's religion as a oh my god, that really winds me up when people are just like, oh, Muslims. Mate, they're just trying to live their lives. Seriously. Are you really that scared about Muslims that it's going to impact the rest of your life? I mean, if you want to believe the Daily Mail and Nigel Farage, go ahead. Or GB News, for example. These places don't tell you the truth or the full story. Neither does far left media either. Like, the mainstream media isn't a source that you can go to get the real information. You have to do the research and the digging yourself. And if you do the digging in regards to immigration, less than 1% of the UK population is undocumented. So that doesn't even mean they're here illegally. So if less than 1% are undocumented or here undocumented, then even less than that, a less statistic than that, serious, like, it is actually going to be illegal. I think people need to get a brain and realise that immigration isn't an issue, transgender isn't an issue, wokeism isn't an issue, but what is an issue is hatred and division and looking at what it's doing to society. I rightfully predicted that if Reform gain parliamentary seats, there will be riots across the UK, and the thing is, I think now we have to be hard-nosed when it comes to reform. I think the media have a lot to answer for when it comes to the misinterpretation of immigration, and unfortunately this is going to sound harsh to those of you who have believed that immigration is a massive issue, but you've been lied to. You have been lied to by the mainstream media, the very media that you call lefty and woke. You've been lied to them, and unfortunately you've been gullible enough to not research what they're saying when it comes to immigration. That's on you. You have to take accountability for that sometimes. So the hatred that we are seeing rise in the UK right now has to do with the mainstream media, but also has to do with people with citizens in the UK creating an issue out of a non-issue because they've unfortunately been duped by media outlets. Anyway, so that YOLO, we went on a bit of a tangent, but peace out. Like and subscribe, and I hope to see more content like this. Tell me what you think.